In the previous videos, we looked at how you can potentially achieve incredible things by changing your approach and by looking at which elements are most important for you. We've seen, amongst other things, how you can achieve practically any career goal just by using the right strategy to get there. Here's one strategy then that can work for almost anyone, regardless of their goals. It's called springboarding. What springboarding means is that you're creating success in one area that you can use to create success in another. So let's say that you want to be that rock star, but you aren't sure of your ability to get there using conventional means. What could you do instead? Well, how about creating a website that is highly successful on the topic of rock? Once you get enough people reading the site, you'll have a huge audience that you can get direct exposure to. Now all you need to do is to start featuring your own music on the blog, and there you have it. A great way to get people to listen to your music. Likewise, how might you go about achieving what Stallone achieved today? Well, one option could be to create a popular YouTube channel showing yourself acting. Get enough follows and use high enough production values, and eventually someone will come knocking with an opportunity. Another option, of course, is just to get rich. If you want to make a music video, then all you need to do is become successful and wealthy in any other area, and you can use that money and the connections from that success to fund your pet project. Is it vain? Sure. Is it a good investment? Maybe not. But it makes you happy. It's what you want. It's how you're going to self-actualize. What could possibly be a better way to spend your money? If money is very often the enabler that you need to start being happier in your life, then the new strategy might be to quickly increase your income to get where you need to be. This might be a lot easier said than done, but actually there are, once again, techniques that you can use to make things a little easier. Tim Ferriss, for example, describes something called a muse. This is basically any quick and dirty little business that he can use to start generating passive income. Remember what we said about your main salary not needing to define your wealth. The easiest muse is often to sell an affiliate product online. This means advertising an ebook or something similar and getting paid a commission, up to 75% in some cases. We won't go into how this works in depth here, but a quick search on Google will show you there are plenty of resources that will help you out. There are other ways to quickly increase your wealth without getting promoted to CEO as well. For example, how about looking into working on a day each weekend in a small job? It's not terribly fun, but if it's to fund a dream, then it might well be worth it. Alternatively, you could rent out a room on Airbnb, or you could even let students stay in your property. You can get paid a good amount for this. In other words, it's key to recognize once again that your salary is not the only source of income. You can even make a lot of money just by saving better and foregoing some of your current expenses. Do you drink a coffee on the way to work? That can cost as much as $3 to $4 in some cases. So that's now $15 a week or $60 a month. You could be some $60 a month better off just by kicking that caffeine habit. Again, this is all about sitting down and recognizing what your priorities are in life. You're probably doing a whole lot right now just because you've always done it. It's time to change that and to start aiming towards the goals that will actually make you happiest. The step back technique is a technique that involves thinking about what you want to get from life if you had all the possible resources and success in the world. If even the laws of physics were yours to bend, what could you accomplish? Nothing is off limits here. Maybe you'd like to be a superhero. Maybe you want to save the world and cure hunger. Maybe you want to be the next Bill Gates. Write this down and then apply the step back technique. That means asking yourself what the closest thing you can possibly accomplish to it is. You'll be surprised at just what you can manage. The title of this video series is How You Can Get Everything You Want. Right at the start, we pointed out that this is a rather lofty aim. Can you really do anything you want to, even if you want to fly? Well, the answer is yes, with caveats. At this point, we've discussed enough strategies and techniques that you can now understand why this is the case. The first thing to do, though, is to look at the reasons why you want to fly and what it is about flying that appeals to you. Is it the speed? Because in that case, you could drive fast cars. Is it the physical feeling of flying itself? Is it the ability to soar through the clouds? Because in that case, you could become an airline pilot like our friend, or, as previously mentioned, you could learn to fly a microlight. But what if you want to really fly? Really fly, without any machinery? You're going to make this difficult, aren't you? Right, well, in that case, you could use the step back technique. What's the closest you can possibly come to flying like Iron Man? There's always zero gravity, so there's that. Or you could become Iron Man. Iron Man is the most realistic superhero who can fly. We can probably agree on that. Still completely impossible, but more realistic. So step back again. What's the closest you could come to creating a real-life Iron Man suit? Well, a few people have asked themselves that very question. There's actually a guy who built himself a real Iron Man suit that works using a rocket attached to his back. It can't take off from the floor, but if he's dropped out of a plane, the combination of the wings and the rocket are enough to allow him to fly and glide through the air until the fuel runs out. And there's another guy who invented something similar. This one allowed him to fly with his hands and feet using thrusters, just like Iron Man. How? Simple. It only works over water. And instead of shooting out lasers, or repulsors for the real Iron Man fans out there, this suit works by shooting out more water. The device takes water from a hose that's submerged into a river or lake, and then it blasts out powerfully from the hands and feet. It's called the JetLev. Look it up on YouTube, and if you want to use it, you can. There are experience days that let you fly using the JetLev. So you can't be Superman. But you can come surprisingly close if you're willing to change your strategy and focus on what it is that you really want. This also applies to other aspects of your life, such as your health. If you have a chronic illness, then the sad reality is that you might never become an athlete. But apply the step back technique and you may realize that you can become a Paralympic athlete. Or perhaps that you can get into the best shape possible and do lots of research and become an inspiration to others who are in the same position. So you may not always be able to become or do anything. But what you can do is to make steps towards any dream. And as soon as you start taking those steps, you'll find that this is what gives you that sense of purpose, of satisfaction, and of actualization.